function, function, function. So, let's talk about the word function. As a part of speech, function is primarily a noun, but it can also be used as a verb in certain contexts. When used as a noun, a function refers to a specific task or duty that someone or something is responsible for, such as a company's main function is to provide customer service. Common usage includes describing the role of an organization, a department within a company, or even the main purpose of a piece of technology. As a verb, function means to operate correctly and according to its intended use. Like this electronic device should function properly after the update. One special note about its usage is that when using function as a noun, it's often used with an adjective or another noun, like in the examples I gave you earlier. Whereas when using it as a verb, it's usually linked to the ability of something to work correctly. In a formal setting, such as a university lecture, a professor might say, "The new calculus function introduced in Chapter 5 will be crucial to understanding the underlying principles of differential equations." Here, the word function is used to describe a specific mathematical concept and its importance within the context of the course material. In casual conversation with a friend who works in IT, you might hear, "I'm trying to troubleshoot this issue on my phone, but I think there's a function that needs to be updated." In this case, the word function is used to describe a specific feature or capability within an application or operating system. In a business setting, such as a meeting with colleagues to discuss project management, someone might say, "As the project lead, it will be my function to oversee all aspects of implementation and ensure timely delivery." Here, the word function is used to describe a specific role or responsibility within an organizational context. So you want to know about this thing that helps computers do tasks? Okay, imagine you have a recipe for making your favorite cake, and each step in the recipe is like a special instruction that needs to be followed. This thing I'm thinking of is like a list of these instructions that tells the computer exactly what to do in a very specific order. So it can take some input, like a picture or a message, and use that information to create something new, like a caption for the picture or a response to the message. It's really useful for making apps and websites work properly, and it helps computers understand what you want them to do. Identified, identified, identified. Let's take a closer look at the word identified. As a part of speech, identified is a verb, which means it shows an action or a state. In common usage, identified typically means to discover or recognize something as being what it really is, such as identifying a person, a place, or an object by their characteristics or features. For example, the police were able to identify the suspect from the security footage. This verb can also be used in more abstract senses, like identifying a problem or a solution. One special note about its usage is that when using identified as a past participle, i.e., after verbs like has been, had been, will have been, etc., it's essential to ensure that the subject of the sentence has actually undergone the action of identification. So make sure you use it correctly in context. In a recent investigation, it was identified that the cause of the fire in the old factory was due to electrical malfunctions. This sentence uses identified in a formal tone, suitable for academic or business reports, where accuracy and precision are essential. On the other hand, while discussing last night's TV show with friends, someone might say, I finally identified the culprit behind Emily's character's dramatic exit. It was just a plot twist. Here, identified is used in an informal conversation to convey a sense of excitement and discovery. In this case, Sarah's research on employee satisfaction has led her team to identify key factors contributing to job dissatisfaction, which will be presented at the upcoming conference. This sentence employs identified in a business or academic context, where the goal is to inform and persuade stakeholders about important findings. So, you want to know what identified means? Well, think of it like this. When we talk about something that has been connected or linked to another thing, so that people know they are related in some way. For example, if a doctor says you have a certain disease because your symptoms match those of someone who has had the disease before, then that's being identified. It's like saying, I see what this is similar to, or this belongs to a group. In many languages, it's translated as recognized, known as, or called. When we use the word identified, we're talking about something that has been officially linked to another thing, so everyone knows its name and what it does. Does that make sense? Income. 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 So, let's talk about the word income. It's a noun, which means it refers to a person, place, thing, or idea. In everyday language, we often use income to refer to the money people earn from working, investing, or any other source. For example, you might say, my income has increased since I got a new job, or, I'm worried about making ends meet on my low income. The key thing to remember is that income can be used in different ways, such as referring to personal earnings, company profits, or even interest from investments. One special note is that when using income, we often talk about it being a regular or predictable amount, which helps distinguish it from one-time payments or expenses. In a job interview setting, a formal usage example of the word income would be, after careful consideration, I am pleased to report that my annual income from last year was sufficient to cover all living expenses and allow for some savings. This sentence is suitable for a formal conversation because it uses professional vocabulary and grammar, making it suitable for an interview or business setting. In contrast, in a casual conversation with friends over lunch, the usage might be more relaxed. Dude, I'm so tired today, my income from freelancing last month was really low, so I'm not sure how I'll make ends meet this month. This sentence uses colloquial language and slang to convey a sense of familiarity and camaraderie with the conversation partner. The casual tone is more suitable for social settings where you're discussing personal or financial matters with people who know you. In an academic or business setting, such as in a lecture on economics or a report on company performance, an example sentence might be, the study revealed that the increase in income among low-skilled workers was directly correlated to the expansion of job opportunities and access to education. This sentence uses technical vocabulary and complex grammar to convey information in a clear and concise manner. The formal tone is suitable for academic or business contexts where precision and objectivity are paramount. So, you want to know about that money people get from working or selling things? Okay, let me explain. The main characteristic of this concept is that it's the amount of money individuals or families have available to them after paying for essential expenses like rent, food, and bills. It's what they're left with to spend on fun stuff, save for the future, or use as a safety net in case something unexpected happens. Think of it like the funds you've got at your disposal every month to live life, pay debts, and invest in yourself. It's similar to concepts like wages or allowance, but more general since it can come from various sources like jobs, investments, or even online sales. People use this money to cover living expenses, save for big purchases or goals, and enjoy their free time. Basically, it's the financial foundation that helps them make choices about how they want to live their lives.